179 British servicemen dead, 4,500 American soldiers dead, over 150,000 Iraqi citizens dead, the majority of the women and children, and an entire country reduced to ruin. All of it orchestrated by one of two architects, namely Tony Blair, the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, driven by misinformation and malicious intent, and the resulting carnage completely unwarranted and wrong. And Tony Blair will never be charged, will never go to trial, will never be punished, no justice whatsoever. And clearly a man guilty of crimes against humanity. And you tell me there's no double standard in this world? It's nauseating enough to make you want to retch. Okay, I had to get that off my chest because it's been haunting me these last few days, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the substance of this commentary, which is about to follow. Bear with me for another couple of minutes because I want to invoke the report that emerged last week from an organization called Civicus, which is the organization which defends and protects civil society and NGOs around the world, and pointed out that at this moment in time, 109 countries are engaged in repressive activity directed against NGO. And that was on my mind because of what is happening in India, where an extreme right-wing government is zeroing in on attempting to repress the activities of an NGO called the Lawyers Collective. A wonderful NGO which is engaged in struggles for human rights and social justice on all important issues. They defend the human rights of people living with HIV. They defend the human rights of the LGBT community. They defend the generic drug manufacturers against the efforts on the part of the major drug companies to extend their patents forever. The Lawyers Collective is a profoundly principled and indispensable organization in India. And in order to repress them, the government of India has now taken away their license for foreign funding for the next 6 months. Foreign funding is the funding that sustains so many NGOs around the world, and that may be extended beyond 6 months, which means that they will completely disable the work of the Lawyers Collective. So there is a major petition now to keep them alive and to get the government to draw back. One hopes it will be successful. And by the way, just today when I opened my computer, I saw a press release from the Andrei Ralkov Foundation for Health and Social Justice in Russia, which works with drug-dependent people, seeing drug dependency as a public health issue rather than a criminalization issue. And they have now been characterized by the government of Russia as deploying the functions of a foreign agent in order to make the Andrei Ralkov Foundation defunct. It's just awful what's happening to NGOs. From Ethiopia to Rwanda to Russia to India, it's a pattern of repression, constant. God knows where it will end. Maybe it will never end. That was last week. I'm Stephen Lewis.